What's your walking around weight? Just so I can conceptualize an Errol Spence fight.
Natural 150, 152 is average for me. We don't really gain a whole lot of weight, you know. It's just natural weight. And as soon as we start working out, you know, weight starts to drop. Pretty comfortable. We pick up the intensity and strengthen the diet a little bit more, and you know, we cut down, but it's not that challenging.
Have you been following Robert Easter on social media and Instagram or Kevin Cunningham?
Not quite. I don't pay attention much.
Seems like he's given it. Well, he's giving like everything into this fight.
Well, he should. I mean, it's a big fight, not just for myself, but I'm sure it's probably the biggest fight for him, or at least that's what he's expecting, and I think that's great. That shows me that he's excited, motivated, and hungry, and you're gonna see the best Robert Easter on July 28th.
How about the reach? You know, you've got 8 inches of reach advantage. I'm sure that you've been preparing for that, obviously.
I don't know exact numbers. I haven't really paid attention, but I know he's very tall and has a longer reach.
What does that open up? I mean, obviously that's an advantage for him, but what does that open up for you?
Well, I think in the gym, I'm already working with different sparring partners to work on different things and make the adjustments. Either I catch him reaching in, or I have to, you know, put pressure and work my way inside. You know, there's gonna be different things that I'm capable of doing. That like I said, I'll make those adjustments. But I'm pretty experienced already, fighting taller guys in the past, so I don't feel that it's a huge disadvantage. It's a disadvantage on paper, but once it comes to fight night, you know, I'll be ready.
You've got some body punching opportunities for a guy that tall too.
Well, the natural, you know, thing is to probably work the body. That's what, you know, the theory says, but I'm not a big body puncher naturally. I will be working the body if the opportunity is there, but that's not like the only game plan that I'm trying to hold to. You know, I like I said, I have a lot of things that I can do, and I'll be prepared to do whatever it takes.
Mikey, I was just in the top ranked stuff, and you've been very active. You're 30 years old now, kind of in the prime of your career. How much emphasis is there to kind of remain active during these prime years, and what are you maybe hoping to accomplish over the next couple of years?
I think I'm in my prime right now. I feel in the best shape. I feel in best shape physically. You know, I'm mentally, you know, in the best, you know, shape also. Very strong mentally. So I'm very happy with the way things are going for me. I do want to stay active. I think I need to take advantage of the moment right now. Take on the biggest fights available. Give the fans fights to remember. Give fights that people can talk about and be excited for. I want to keep fighting, you know, champions. I want to keep fighting big fights. Those are the fights that excite me the most.
Is this Spence thing like a real thing that you're considering?
No one believes me, but when it happens, you know, you guys are gonna be surprised. I'm very serious. I really would love that fight. I'm not looking, you know, past Robert Easter, but you know, if everything goes well and we're not, you know, injured or anything like that, the other fight that excites me would be a Errol Spence fight, and the challenges that he presents are so great that that's what motivates me the most.
How much would it take? What would the process be like to get to 147 comfortably for you?
Well, I just gotta change the training a little bit more. Gotta change the diet a little bit. I wouldn't be really cutting weight. I'd just be maintaining a natural weight, which I think is gonna be fine for me. But we do gotta change the training a little bit so that I can adjust to that size, you know, the welterweight division.
How did the fight at 140 kind of, I don't know, affect your thinking in regards to a Spence fight? It looked like you were fighting a guy who you were a lot better than maybe technically, but again, the strength kept him in the fight.
I can feel the size advantages, the size difference. 2 fights at 140 against Adrian Broner and against Sergey Lipinets. Those fights, although we were at 140 on weigh-in, you know, fight night, they were a lot heavier. I was probably about 47, 48 on fight night. They were probably 155 or close to 160, because I could just feel the size, I could see it. But I still have the abilities to fight and overcome that size disadvantage, that strength. So with Errol Spence, a little different, because he's also very talented. Technically, he's very, very talented, great fighter, and he still has that size and weight advantage. But that's what excites me, because everybody says no, all you guys think it's a joke, and I'm gonna do it.
You talk about being at your peak right now. How do you think you're a better fighter now than you were before the 1.5, 2-year layoff?
I'm hungrier, I'm more motivated, I'm more experienced, I'm in a happier place. And if you're happy and you enjoy what you're doing, then you do it, that much better. So I'm very happy. I think this stage of my career is the one that people will remember most.
How much longer do you want to, again, not that...
I don't have a specific, time, like number of fights or years or age that I want to retire. It just depends on my body. If I feel comfortable fighting for the next 5, 6, 7 years, I'll keep fighting. Who knows? It could be 1 year. I mean, yeah, it all depends on my body. But as things are going for me right now, I think I'll be here for quite some time.
Earlier in your career, before the hiatus that you took, you liked boxing, but you were a little bit ambivalent about it. Robert said you like it a lot more now because of where you've gotten.
The time off kind of helped, reignite that fire. And now that I'm in control, like I said, I'm very happy with the way things are going. I'm happy with my career, the way I dictate, terms and how I'm guiding my own path is great. So I'm in a happier place. Spiritually, it's much better, and that's why I think I'm gonna continue to fight for a little longer than originally expected.
Mikey, could you possibly talk about what it means after so long to be back in LA and headlining the Staples Center, the biggest arena that they have here in LA, one of the most significant name-wise for sure. Could you talk about what that means to you, having your home fan base here and being able to not just fight but unify possibly and perform in front of your fans? Could you talk about that?
It's very special to be back after so many years. I think it's like 7 years that I was last here in LA, and that was before I was champion. So now that I come back, after all my accomplishments, I get to come home, to LA. We get to put on a title unification match for my local fans. I think it's terrific. I'm excited. Every time I walk into the ring, the moment where I get a little bit of butterflies or emotional, it's that ring walk because of all those fans that show up. And now I get to do that and experience that here in my home, crowd. That's special, and that's why I really look forward to this on July 28th, because I know the fans are going to really show up and show lots of love and support.
Hey, Mikey, I had a chance to ask Richard. I want to ask you the same question for you and Robert at this point in both of your guys' careers, both champions. How important was it for you and for him to make this fight happen now? So it's not too often where we don't get the best fights with the best fighters, but for now, I mean, arguably the best fight for both of us.
We wanted big fights. Like I said, I won championship fights. I want big fights. He's an undefeated world champion. I'm an undefeated world champion. If we wait any longer, who knows if that fight could ever even get done. I felt that this is the best moment because it's a fight that excites me. I don't want to take on just title defenses against contenders that people will, talk shit about. People that don't know them, oh, he's nobody. I want to fight champions. And that's why we wanted this fight, and I'm sure he wanted it too, because he wants to prove to everybody kind of fighter that he is, that he's a world champion, undefeated champion for a reason, and this is the biggest fight for his career. So it's my first unification match, his biggest fight. I think there's no better time to host this.
How good is he, and what problems does he, other than the height and the reach, what problems does he present?
Well, he's actually naturally a fighter. Even though he does have height and reach, he sometimes gives that up to fight, which makes it a tough fight. He's a tough fighter. He definitely has the heart, and he doesn't take no for an answer. He's there to win. So that's what's gonna make it a good fight. But like I said, I want the best Robert Easter, so that I can also perform to the best.
This urgency to kind of fight the best guys and take the biggest fights, did that increase at all? Because you think of the 2 years off?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make up for some of that time also. Yeah. But once I came back, I hear the fans, I hear the media, and they're always criticizing other fighters for taking on other opponents. Now, the media and the fans sometimes are harsh. They might not understand why you need to take on certain fights. Maybe certain opponents are not available, and politics or whatever. But if I can dictate my own career, and I am to this point, then I'm taking on these fights. I want champions. I don't want to just fight, title contenders that are ranked number 10 or 8 in the world, and everybody's gonna be, talking bad about. That's why we take on these kind of fights, undefeated contenders or undefeated world champions.
Fighting a guy like Spence at 147 than you would be a guy like Lomachenko at 135?
Well, I think because of promotional reasons, I think that's a fair assessment. I think a fight with Errol Spence is probably easier to handle and make than a fight with Lomachenko, just because of promotional reasons.
You know, you come from a boxing family, obviously you've been around the sport a long time. Do you think that, again, when you kind of talk about that urgency and taking advantage of your prime, do you think that maybe how you grew up and what you've seen gives you a greater appreciation for like a prime of a fighter?
Well, I grew up in it, since I was a little kid, watching my brother and watching Vargas and, with my dad now and my brother as a trainer. We've gone through a lot of other careers. We've seen it. I want to make sure that I give the fans the best of me while I'm in my prime, and that's why we're taking on these fights. And it's better to just give them, good fights now than wait 5-7 years later, and it won't be as entertaining. It won't be the same. People will enjoy it, but will say it should have been 5 years ago. It should have been 4 years ago. So that's why we want to give them fights right now.
Is it your hope that other boxers would sort of take your lead? Because I think that's one of the problems with the sport, is that these promotional differences keep the best fights from happening. You can even look to the welterweight division.
Look, some of the other fighters have different agendas. They have different ideas. Maybe they just want title defenses. Maybe they want to rack up a number of wins. I don't know. I want to fight the top champions. I want to fight for the titles. I don't know what other fighters want to do. Also, like you mentioned, the promotional reasons. Sometimes it's promotional reasons, network reasons that fights don't get made. I'm able to work and get these fights done, so like I said, I'm very happy to be able to do that for the fans. And if I can continue doing this, then that's just what I'm gonna keep doing.
What's your ceiling physically in terms of weight?
I don't know. I mean, 147 might be it. I don't know. If the right opportunity is at 154, I might be 154.
When you woke up Monday, how did your body feel at fighting at 140?
I was fine.
Felt fine?
Yeah, I felt fine. It was a tougher fight. Lipinets is a strong dude, and he was, throwing punches. He landed some good shots. But I felt fine. I still felt, strong enough and quick enough to fight with these guys, even though they have size advantage on fight night. I still felt pretty comfortable.
And Richard Schaefer says the tickets are hot. Congratulations to you. You're officially an LA star and potentially mega star. What do you foresee yourself at the end of your career? Do you want the statue alongside Oscar? Do you?
Look, I'm not. That's not something that I'm chasing.
Hall of Fame.
I'm not chasing anything like that. I'm not looking for that #1 pound for pound status or, anything like that. I think if the fans give me the recognition, that's enough for me. I don't care what any of you, as far as media, want to put me #1 or #5 or whatever it is. That doesn't matter to me. If the Hall of Fame at the end of my career says, you're worthy, great. That's another accomplishment. But what I'm worried most is just what the fans, idea and thought process is about me.
Mikey, your next fight date, May and September. Are you gonna take over those 2 dates?
If we can get one more fight this year, that's first. I would like to get past this and then maybe land one more before the end of this year. If we do, then maybe next year we can start looking at those 2 dates if the right opponents are available. It's a big, now it's becoming a big boxing day for Cinco de Mayo weekend and September weekend, so it'd be great to be able to do that, but you also need the right dancing partner, and I understand that, so I can't just go in there against nobody, but I'm trying to pick the right guys. I'm trying to get champions, and I think those would be exciting fights to land on those dates.
Why are all the media members sweating like crazy and you're not?
It's really hot, man.
But you're not sweating. They're nervous?
I don't know. They've been here a little longer. Maybe you guys been here a little longer. I'm used to the heat.
What's your car collection at now? And, how many do you have?
You got a few cars.
How many do you have?
I have my 2017 Viper. I have a 2010 Challenger. I have a 2018 Jeep Wrangler. I have a 2017 Ram 2500. I have a Land Rover Defender. I have a 3-wheel motorcycle that I tow. just a few fun cars, different car for the occasion, I guess.
What's the champion of that group?
I really like the Challenger. It's my favorite. I built it. I sent it out to Richard Petty a few years ago, and they completely tricked it out. And one of one. The way it was built, it's one of one. So I really like that. Second to that, I think would be my Land Rover Defender. That's a sick car. Off-roading capabilities are insane. The Viper's great. I take that to the track. I like to drive it, but you can't enjoy it in the streets. You got to take it to the track. So.
What do your promoters think about you doing it?
They don't like it. No one likes it. My dad doesn't like me going. My brother doesn't like me going. Anybody, Showtime or Richard or anybody, is against it because they're afraid that I'll get injured or hurt, in a way that I won't be able to continue boxing. But I'm pretty safe about it. I don't push the car as much as people, think, and it's a safe environment. When you're at the track, you got the right team, the right people. You're racing against other cars that are also experienced drivers, so it's actually pretty safe. It's a lot safer than the street. At Fontana Speedway, California Speedway. Yeah, we do the road course there, not just the oval, but the road course.
Are you good?
I do pretty well.
Dylan, I went with him. He's really good. He was smoking everybody.
We do pretty well. I mean, for not having the experience, I've been there several times, about 5-6 times maybe total, and I'm at the experience level, expert level, with some of these other drivers. The only level above me is full-on track-ready cars. Level that I'm at right now is, with guys that were former race car drivers, or but they're still street legal cars, but former race car drivers. And like I said, the only level above me is a full-on race car, not street legal.
The craziest part, your tires fall apart, physically fall apart.
Yeah, you're going through tires a lot.
Last question.
A little off topic, but relative to your fight, you fighting the Staples Center. LeBron James, you signed a 4-year deal, over $100 million with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Would you invite him to come to your fight? And
most definitely. If he can make it to a fight, that'd be great. I'll definitely invite him. If he can come down, I'll definitely work something for him. It'd be great for him to show up, show support. In general, I think it's a great move for him. He's had a lot of success in other teams, and I think he can also bring that to LA. LA's been, not doing so well recent years, but I think that would definitely help.
Last thing, any advice for the criticism he's getting? Some people aren't too happy he came to LA. The Kobe fans are kind of accepting him with open arms.
Some fans have different opinions for whatever reason. He's a terrific player. He's shown, he's proven, in last year's top player. So why not welcome him? If anybody has anything bad to say, that's just an opinion. It doesn't matter. I think overall people accept him and welcome him.
Thank you, Mikey.
Mikey, it's really common now for a lot of fighters to promote kind of a Mexican style fight, to sell their fights. What do you define Mexican style as yourself?
Traditionally, the general public will say a Mexican style is someone who's very aggressive and likes to brawl. But in my point of view, my favorite fighters from Mexico have been Finito Lopez, Manuel Marquez. Guys are actually more
combinations,
technical, more combinations, more defense.